Alrighty, I'm gonna get started. So good evening. I appreciate the call and response. My name is Kiki Cooper, but I'm also a Dixon, and that is D-I-C-K-S-O-N, not D-I-X-O-N. If you do have an X in your Dixon, that's all good. We still family. Come holla at me. We cousins. Our ancestors were probably from the same plantation. Anyway, shout out to my family watching. Hi, Uncle Jalam. We just celebrated his 70th birthday this weekend. So please give him your love and your protection and your healing. And I hope I have made you proud. I'm still on track to getting it right. But other than that, I am the co-chair for this conference, and I'm also a student here at the GSD, and I am getting ready to get on up out of here with my conferred degrees in urban design and design studies in hand, hopefully sooner rather than later. I do want to give you a quick reminder, if you're just joining us, we have live captioning available. And for those joining us virtually, please click the closed captioning icon. For our in-person audience, please use the QR code on the screen currently please visit the AV booth if you do need assistance. Give you all a second. There we go. I want to take a moment to frame the reason behind this keynote panel. The princess will discuss the connection between her spiritual work and her stewardship of landscape and sacred spaces, the connection between creative practice and spirituality and the process of becoming a high priestess and stewarding her spiritual roots. Black Roots Grounded and Growing Toward Collective Futures was not just a symbolic name, nor were our themes ecologies, geographies, and most of all, theologies. This conference could only be closed in one way, with a high priestess and steward of spiritual roots. The intersections of working with the spirit and the landscape are primordial conditions for Black stewardship. The impetus to be engaged in sustaining life is one that is deeply cosmological, originating from within the creation stories that have anchored our sense of self across space and time. Yet, when our anchor to this place is our own homeland, passed down through generations, the symbiosis of the plant and human life reflect this cosmology and offer woefully different than landscape architecture or environmental planning. The sacred and profane are the earth. The salvation we find in the nuances between the beauty of nature, finding balance within itself as undisturbed from our protruding existence upon them is creative practice within itself. Our roots as people have been stewarded with love and foresight to a future that is unimaginable to ancestors, where we have place-kept the systems of knowledge, practice, spiritual ceremony, combined to produce their own Black spatial praxis. The care for our land has always been rooted in the rootedness that grounds us to place. I would like to now introduce what I know will be a magical keynote and conversation. Princess Adedoyin Talabi Faniyi is an Orisha high priestess of Osogbo, Nigeria, and the daughter of Chief Susan Wenger. Princess Adedoyin is a key volunteer to the Aduni Olorisha Trust, working to protect the sacred groves of Osogbo, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I want to take a moment to speak to how I've grown to know Princess. I met her just this year in March. After finishing up an amazing studio trip to Australia, I had volunteered to be her escort for another conference titled The African Landscape Architectures, Alternative Futures for the Field. What I did not know is that conference was meant to be 2 hours of my time, ended up being 2 days of magic. The stars truly aligned. My life since meeting the princess has been a roller coaster full of joy, love, and growth. During our time together, the princess called me sister, and I took that to heart because I knew she meant it despite our age gap. Even though generational differences, we are kin. I'm so honored and thankful that you were willing and able to join us for the conference. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. I also want to thank the Tawan Davis Impact Fund and the Graham Foundation for sponsoring us this year because it helped get the princess back here. After the princess's remarks, she will be in conversation with Dr. Tracey E. Hucks, the Victor S. Thompson Professor of Africana Religious Studies at the Harvard Divinity School, and Susan Young Murray Professor at the Harvard Radcliffe Institute for Advanced Study. Dr. Hucks is an author of numerous articles on the theory and method of Africana religious studies and religion and healing in African diaspora. She has traveled extensively throughout Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, and the Americas for her archival and ethnographic research on Africana religious traditions. Dr. Hucks is initiated Ianifa in the Yoruba priesthood of Ifa. I also want to take a moment to highlight the fact that she is speaking at another conference titled Embracing Black, a Healing and Self-Advocacy. It's a conference for Black women. It is on Friday, November 14th, and the registration deadline is this Monday, yes. And that will be taking place at the Simmons University in Boston, Massachusetts. I hope you're ready to experience these powerful women in conversation together, and I hope that their grace and power move you today as we enter the final moments of this year's official conference. And yes, that is a gentle reminder that I want you all to also show up to tomorrow's unofficial conference day, hosted by BSU and Africa GSD, which you can find more information on the website. So without further ado, Princess Faniyi, please come to the stage.
Hello, good evening. Good evening. Yes, I greet everyone, and I'm very grateful, and it's a great pleasure for inviting me here to attend this conference. Thanks so much. Before I start my presentation, I would like to start it with libation, which is the form of paying homage to the spirits of ancestors. With me here, I have the kola nut, which is the object of driving away the negative forces, and also the bitter kola, which symbolizes the longevity, and alligator pepper, we call atare, it stays compact, and with that, we pray for not to live a scattered life. And also, there is seed of iwerenjeje, which is capable of bringing down the positive energies. And also, here with me is cool water, which has symbolism of coolness, of life, and when we put water down, it makes path. And I pray for good paths for everyone in whatever we lay our hands on. Now I will start the libation proper with iwerenjeje, which is capable of bringing down the positive energy. Iwerenjeje o para kun obarisha Iba baba, Iba ye ye, Iba Ipari pada sama mero, Iba tẹ arọ́sọmọgbàjẹ́ o. Àyà fún adáṣe o. Kóró mọ́ ṣàìgbà. Ṣàìgbà o. Ṣàìgbà. Ṣàìgbà o. Olódùmarè, the creator of largest mammals and smallest organisms, we pay homage, Ashe, to Egungun Ile, the guardian spirits of homes. We pay homage, Ashe, to Orisha Oja, the guardian spirits of commerce and profitable ventures. We pay homage, Ashe, to Ori, our destiny. We pay homage, Ashe, to all the positive energies in this great universe. We pay homage, Ashe. To all the positive energies in this great University of Harvard, we pay homage, Ashe. To Ibeji, the sacred children, we pay homage, Ashe. To all the mothers in great beyond, we pay homage, Ashe. To all the fathers in great beyond, we pay homage, Ashe. To Oshun, the Orisha of waters of life and living spring, we pay homage, Ashe. May she cool our path as cool as our water is. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Yes.
My name's Gareth. I'm an associate professor of landscape architecture here at the GSD and also affiliate in the Department of African and African American Studies. And I've been blessed to have been able to spend some time in the Oshun Sacred Grove over the last few years. I'm interested in transcendence and landscape, and this is an incredible space that the princess will be sharing with us. She asked me to explain that she'll be showing a series of short videos. They're about 2 to 3 minutes each. And we commissioned these videos a few years ago. We thought that the videographer, Adolphus Opara, who's an amazing Nigerian artist and photographer, would make 15 very short videos. In the end, he made 45, and the princess narrated them. And the videos will be made available through Hollis, through the Harvard Library System in the coming weeks. So they'll be freely available. Tonight we'll see a short selection of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. So you see, and the river surrounds the town, the Oshun River.
This is the Oshun River.
The Oshun River, you know, it's not ordinary that it is very high in spirituality. And you see, this time we're in dry season. Around October, November, September, it gets up there. That here we are will be very high water, the level of river will be high here. So you see the representation of Oshun here. Oshun is welcoming everybody. So you see her embrace people coming here. That's how Oshun is, and Oshun loves people and everyone, that she embraces everyone, and you see a sculpture there welcoming people here. Oh, no. This is where the tree fell into the river that the voice came out. Also, Igbo, you have broken on my dime pots, so this is the particular place. And we carry the offering for Oshun here every day and also annually, that people bring things to offer for her. Yeah, yo, caro. Yeah, yo.
Go ahead.
This is during the Oshun festival, the votary maid carrying Oshun is a young girl between ages 8 to 14 will start to carry Oshun, and she will be chosen through the divination, and that is how she leads the procession to Oshun Groves. And this shows how it is during Oshun Oshogbo Festival. You see the UNESCO plaque there, being the second UNESCO site in Nigeria. The stream of people going in procession to the groves. That's how it is during the festival, that people do come from all over the world to participate the Oshun Festival with us. So it's the same day of Oshun Festival. So everyone, we want to pray to Oshun at the riverside or in the groves in general. That's the procession to Oshun Shrine. This is the river. It's the PowerPoint there that everybody would like to touch the water to pray for whatever they wish for. So still at the river, this is part of the groves where people move around to participate during the festival. As part of the groups is thick forest. This is the entrance to the main shrine of Oshun with the hash of flying torches. So this is where everyone passes during the festival, but for the devotees, it is different path that we will pass. This particular spot is where the devotee will pass to get to the main shrine, where others will pass through the flying torches. We call this Onaruba. It is dedicated to the votary maid carrying Oshun. That is her path. There are different kinds of form of spiritual art in the groves. As you can see.
Okay. Odabo. Yes, there are spirits of the forest on the wall, and you see the water pot for Oshun Indigo. And the elephant here. Elephant plays an important role here because the Oguntibaye, the hunter who discovered the river, one day found an elephant, baby elephant, taking the breast on the dead mother. So, and they took the baby elephant to bring the baby elephant to the community. And they have it in their praise name till today. Here you see somebody bringing animal for offering for Oshun. It's here. That sculpture is the representation of Oshun Olomayoyo. Oshun Olomayoyo means the mother of many children. That's how you see children all around her.
Yes. This is part of the groves that we call the market for the gods. So the first settlers in Osogbo, they stayed by the riverside because they were living at Igbokpole, but during the dry season, no enough water for them to use. And the Oguntimaye was hunting and discovered that river. So he went back to call other family members to migrate to the riverside so that they will be able to get water to use abundantly even during the dry season. And as they were living there by the riverside, the hunter discovered a deer running, and that deer disappeared. And he started to cut tree that deer would be inside that tree. But as the tree fell into the river, the voice came out, "Oh, so gbogbo koko aro mi le ti fọ́ tán," meaning that the wizards of the forest, you have broken up my dying pot. this voice came out of the river, and like 4,000 voices came, Ọ̀ṣun pẹ̀lẹ́ o, Ọ̀ṣun rọra o. They were scared. That's when they got to know that they were living in different place entirely, and the sacred place. And the voice continued to tell them that they should move from that place, that they couldn't stay there. So, and Osho gave them to count the feet. You know, they were using feet as the measurement. That this, and they got to the second settlement. That is where we call Ontoto, and this is Oja Ontoto, the market for the gods. This is the second settlement where they used to do the market.
Where the market of Ontoto, when Oshun directed the people living close to the river, when she directed them to the second settlement, they were using this place as the marketplace. So, and the sculptures here represent the memory of the place as a marketplace. And then they were using these holes to blend their pepper, their maize. They use it to grind any stuff.
They were using all that to grind.
And it's called market for the gods. So as you see Shango there, Shango, the god of thunder, the Oro. Oro is in charge of cult. Oro cult. So that's Oro. And Obatala. Obatala is in charge of creativity. And the oldest of all the deities.
Say something about this sculpture. Maybe
Yeah.
sing a song or say something, anything, just.
Oshun, it's Oshun here. You see her breastfeeding the baby, carrying the baby on the back, and the other one. Yes, the different aspect of Oshun, showing her as a mother. Ìyá ọlọ́mọ mọ́ra bàbá fọ́ṣun níbú, Ọ̀ṣun ọlọ́mọ bàbá fọ́ṣun níbú. Ìyá ọlọ́mọ bàbá fọ́ṣun níbú, Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo. Mọ́ra bàbá fọ́ṣun níbú, ìyá ọlọ́mọ. Sekurudu omininjo, sekurudu oreye yo.
This is also part of the groove where we have Ogboni temple. Ogboni is the deity in charge of the earth, the mother earth. So that is the temple for Ogboni.
We are at Ogboni temple. Ogboni is the deity in charge of the mother earth. So this is where we have a temple. So Ogboni is a very important deity in charge of the earth, and Ogboni is the, it is misconception when people say it is secret society, but it's the society that has secret, because it has separate ways, the language, and you see the gesture. That is the form of greeting. So, and this is where we do the initiation, and the only initiate can be allowed to participate and go in there.
That's the symbolism of river waves. That's the sacred form of painting of the shrine in Yoruba land, or in Africa generally. Still at the entrance of Ogboni temple. The Orisha, they work hand in hand together. So here we have Obatala temple, also inside Osun Groves. Obatala is in charge of creativity and the Orisha of sanity and purity. Obatala Yemo.
Obatala riding on a lion. It's the same sculpture. Obatala on the lion. This is Alajere. Alajere is the youthful dimension of Obaluaye. Obaluaye in his form as a youth. Alajere. Kaya suna Daudu. Kaya suna Alajere. Èmi ò rí Daudu tí fi lúrú jìyàn.
The sculpture of Obaluaye. Obaluaye is in charge of epidemic and pandemic control. We appease to Obaluaye for the control of epidemic. This is Yamakpo. Yamakpo is the deity in charge of women affairs in terms of profession. You can see her sculptures. She has several hands because she put her hands in different professions that women engage in.
This is Yamakpo. This is Yamakpo. Yamakpo is the deity in charge of all female affairs in terms of profession. So Yamakpo is the deity in charge of that. And you can see she has several hands. That is to show that she's into different kinds of profession. In terms of palm oil making, palm kernel making, coconut oil making, black soap making, indigo dye making. So she has her hands in everything. As we have different professions with different deity, like those driving or those driving that they swear to Ogun. So women trading, or when it comes So,
Let me go closer.
area around.
Let's talk about
Yes, these are layers of our clothing, of our wrapper. Yes, the layers of a wrapper, you know, she wraps herself into 16 different wraps. So,
why 16.
yes, you know, she is mighty. You know, that's how she likes to dress. One layers of wrapper, another one till 16 layers. You see, and she has the two beds as form of her energy, spiritual energy, one at the back and one in the front. So in case she wants to operate in the space, so she will use those beds as source of her power to go into space. And there is another one at the back. This represents the pot for dyeing, indigo. Ọmọ yín sì wà ní.
So that is Ebu Iyamapo. Here we have the representation of Egungun. They are in charge of the representation of ancestors. The deity in charge of the ancestors, those are Egungun. We have Egungun festival, and during that time, everyone remember the people they have in great beyond, and they pray to them through Egungun. So they are in charge of ancestors. They get praying to the ancestors. This is the representation of ancestors in Osogbo. But when the festival is coming, we put the palm fronds all over the sculpture or at the entrance. That shows that the festival is closer. So that's the entrance to Ogboni Temple. Also part of it. That's the palace, the shrine at the palace. You see the sacred painting there. So far, that is how it is with Osun sacred groves. And when people were living at the second settlement, they discovered the lamp, the spirit dancing around the lamp, and they brought that to the riverside, and Osun said they will move again to the third settlement That is where we have the community settlement today that we call Oshogbo. And Osho said she will be saying Osho Igbo until they won't listen to that voice. That is where they should stay. So that is where we have Oshun Palace Shrine, and we have the palace, and that serves as the final settlement for the indigene of Oshogbo today. And Oshun said we should be having the festival every year. No, that's the one with the crowd. That's the festival we have for the rain season. And everybody is aware, people do come from all over. But we also have the Oshun Festival for the dry season. That is no announcement, it is quiet, and it is within the devotees of Oshun. So that we don't announce. That is how it goes with Oshun Festival. But Oshun said people should move away because living with her, there will be more destruction to the nature there, like cutting the trees for cooking or for whatever they would like to do, that they should let the nature of the place stay intact, that she would like to stay in quiet, in nature. And the whole community respects that, but for every 4 days that we have the Ose, that is the service we are allowed to go, or every day till certain time of the day. During the day, she allows us, but when it is night, we leave the place to let the nature there stays intact. And if one will visit the place, you will feel that energy, the sacred energy there. This is it is authentic till today, that you get there, you feel the thing that here, there is spiritual energy. So that is how it is with Oshun Sacred Groves, Oshun Festival, and I don't know if anyone has any question relating to what we've been showing so far.
Before I begin with the questions, we wish to thank the organizers, especially Kiki, for the invitation to participate in this conference, and also the donors and the deans for recognizing how important this conference is. I am your faculty neighbor who teaches courses on African religions in the diaspora. I'm housed only 5 buildings from here in Divinity Hall at the Harvard Divinity School. And although we do not design place and space and community in the same way, we do the work of designing spiritual worlds and building sacred communities. I want to extend a special thanks for this gathering because on day 1, since the first day of the conference, panelists have extended reverence and recognition to the sacred and intellectual worlds that Princess Faniyi and I inhabit in Africa and the African diaspora, through references to the sacred geographies of Ile-Ife. The Egungun, or the ancestors, were invoked yesterday, the world of Ebo and offerings, praise houses, hush harbors, ring shouts, dreams, altars, graveyards, the waters of the Atlantic, plant life and herbal healing, the earth, the soil. We were both present on day 1 of Black Roots, and it included references and drumming to the Yoruba Orishas Eshu Elegba and Shango. And the conference will now close at the sacred rivers and groves of Oshun. And not in many traditions do you have female deity at the beginning of a creation, but Oshun's divine feminine energy was present at the very creation of the world. And for intersecting our worlds in the spiritual world and your world in the design and the physical world, we thank you, Adupwe, we give thanks, and we thank the princess for being here. And I want to turn to a question. This is a question 2 years ago she was here, and this question was from 2 years ago that someone wanted answered, and we want to make sure we ask it so it won't be 2 more years. And the question to you, Princess, is, can you tell us about your spiritual background and journey and how you became a priestess of Oshun and the guardian of her river?
Thank you. My family background, Yadudu royal family in Oshogbo. The Orisha that belongs to my family is Oshun. And Oshun did great things in my family life. First, as a young boy, my father was missing, and they couldn't find him. One divination after the other. And my family was on throne then. As the king, they were looking everywhere. But where my father was missing to, my father told us that during the night, a woman came with full of bracelet, beads, and told him, and my father was following her, and it got to a junction, and she told my father, close your eyes. And my father appeared at the entrance of the town, Oshogbo. But when they found people going to farm, this is lie, but the divination said they will find him, it is Oshun who will find him, that they will find him, but they must use that it will be used as sacrifice to Oshun. So when they found my father, the king was happy. We found him. But my father couldn't talk. And when they brought my father to the king said, what is the essence? We found her, and we will sacrifice, we find him, we will sacrifice him to Oshun. And the priests there, they were laughing, that not like that, but he will be serving Oshun throughout his life and till his generation from generation. So, but my father couldn't talk. And they brought my father to Oshun Shrine, staying there. He couldn't talk. But by the time of Oshun Festival, when Oshun Festival was coming, there would be the particular time to wash Oshun. And they will count 200 different herbs to do that washing. They were counting it, this one. When it got to 200, my father said, Igba, that is 200. And everybody was amazing. Lai talked. Now he talked. So that is how but the voice of my father changed. because if my father will be talking inside the room, the one outside, you will think that it is female voice. So his voice changed from male to female. And he dedicated his life to Oshun, and that is also continue with us, the children, the grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Though in Yoruba land, when the child is born, the third day, there will be first divination called Esentaye. With Esentaye is to know which feet and what is the destiny of this baby. So any Orisha could come with the destiny of any child in my family, but Oshun will not be left out. So all my family, and since then, my father's name is Olayiwola, and everybody changed it to Olayiwola Olosun, Layi Olosun. That is how the whole family is dedicated to Osun till today. And it is going from one generation to the other. That is how we are. You know, that is one part. We can belong to one Orisha or different Orisha, but Osun must be present in the life of my family members. So that is how it is.
Thank you for that. We saw, you showed us an image of Obaluwaye, the Orisha of epidemic and pandemic. Can you talk a little bit about, during COVID-19 and the pandemic, what impact, if any, did it have on the Oshun Festival?
During the pandemic, it was not easy time for everyone in this universe. And we had appeasement to Obaluwaye, and when Oshun was approaching, you know, it's one thing with Oshun. People, 3 weeks to the time of Oshun Festival, there will be, the town will be crowded and this. And when it was 2 weeks to the festival, they called me from the government office that how could we identify Oshun people? Because there is restriction. We don't want many people at the festival this year because of pandemic. And I said, now is 2 weeks to the festival, but I can count the hotels that are fully booked already. That people, even when with the closure of airport, people came through the neighbor country to attend the Oshun Festival. And I said, it seems to be late. We could have tried to discourage people since 1 month or 6 weeks to the festival. But now 2 weeks to the festival, the town is full. And then, on the other hand, they started the announcement on the media that no Oshun Festival this year. People should not come. And those who knows, they will say, okay, let's ask the devotees. And they will call me. I will say, okay, because of the pandemic, it's better that the devotees only attend the festival. But I know there are many people around already, but I didn't want to encourage more people. But we had that till the day of the festival. But now everybody with mobile phone. Till the day to the festival, the media was discouraging people so that to control the crowd. But the moment when we started with the procession to the festival, people saw it on the media and they started to travel from everywhere. And getting to the entrance of the groves, there was security. Government did try their best then. And they said when they sense that this should not be a devotee, and then they will say, no, don't enter. And people will go through bush, different routes to enter the grove. After 2 hours, they couldn't control it. And they said, we've tried, but we couldn't control this crowd. And people were trooping in, and it appeared as you saw it on the screen. We couldn't control it, but Osun did our best that nobody, no case of pandemic or epidemic, despite of huge crowd. So no case, and the government, they advise us to put on the nose cover and everything like that, but with huge crowd, we had the festival successfully. But that seems to be different like other time, because people were still coming till the time was dark. Because they started to travel one after the other, and we appreciate that nobody had the case of virus.
Okay.
Thank you. That's our share.
For those of you who saw the Osun Festival, it attracts thousands of people. And I wanted to be clear, those aren't just Nigerians, that this festival attracts people from around the world. And thousands of people come in for the annual Osun Festival, including many African Americans from the United States. And I wanted you to talk a little bit about what attracts people to Osun. What is her power? Why are thousands of people coming from around the globe and around the planet to greet and to be with Osun?
As you mentioned, during the time of when the first set of Irumale came to the world, 16 men and Osun, being the 17th of them, they came and they were making their lives, but they did not put a consent, but they could not do anything right. So until they went back to Olodumare, and Olodumare asked, what about your 17th Orisha, Osun? Being a woman, and Olodumare told them, you have to go and put the conscience of Osun in all what you do. Without that, you won't be able to succeed. Up to today, when we are doing the ritual, the conscience of Osun, that Odu is Osetua, should be put in the Ebo for the awareness. So that is how it came about in Osetura, that without the consent of Osun, they won't be able to succeed. And Osun said, I'm not the only one. But that first set, Osun, only one And Oshun said, Aje, the daughter of the king of Benin, is also a woman. Okun, the daughter of king of Irada, also a woman. Aje, ọmọ wọn lóde Ọ̀tà, the Yami from Ọ̀tà, also a woman. Oya, who puts on the robe of fire, is also a woman. So that's how Oshun was telling them that more female Orisha will still be coming. So she really did that. You know, our spiritual energy, our metaphysical energy is the sort of how our energy is still growing today. Because Oshun is growing. We have this crowd this year, next year will be more people. And even during the time of COVID-19, that they said no movement, people would still be sneaking out to go to the sacred groves. You know, and even with the tight security, but when they see us, we carry the container, they know we are going to fetch Oshun water. So with that, you know, she's growing, and her spiritual energy, her metaphysical energy is authentic. And you feel her presence like that, you know. And also, when we look at the importance of water in the body, in the life, we see that it has vital role in the life of humanity. So is the energy of Oshun, as water is very important in our life. So that's our energy, you know. And throughout, I will say in Nigeria, this festival is like major festival, that not only for Oshun devotees, not only for Nigeria people, not only for African people, it's for the whole universe. And when you are a child of Oshun, it will, you know, you will feel it. But when you get there, one guest came one time, and he made the comment that when you are connected with Oshun, you will not get out of it, that he saw that he has been coming to Oshogbo. You come once and you will always want to come. That's how Oshun is, that she has her children all over the world. So it doesn't mean that it has to be from Oshogbo or Oshun State or Nigeria or Africa. She has her children all over. And her love for people as a mother. As you see one of her sculptures, children all around her, she is a mother of many children. That is Oshun, charming, loving, and she has inspired many lives positively. So this is real. It is in reality. Even when I came here in March, the Marshal hosted me here, and when I got to the office, and she asked me at Harvard, where is the most impressive place to you? And I said, the fountain. I passed through the fountain where there are rocks and water falling on that's the most favorite place for me here, because the rocks underwater will never die. That so will Harvard will continue to live. Long live Harvard. You know, that puts the attraction of Osun to me, that the rocks underwater stay long, and I wish Harvard continue to stay long. So the effect of Osun, you know, I felt it there. And, you know, it's at the crossroad. Yeah, thank you.
I have other questions, but I want that energy to resonate. So I want to open it up to your questions in the audience. Yes, please stand and state your name.
Hi, my name is Bria, and I want to first thank you for the beautiful visuals that you showed in your narration. And my question is in regards to the videos, the series of videos that you showed. I want to know, how do you imagine or hope that that visual archive might be used by who might, I don't know, who were those made for, the videos and the things that you showed today, who were they made for, and how do you hope that they be used whether by designers or students, or maybe there's other communities. I just want to know what are your thoughts around, how,
Can you explain?
yeah.
What did you make the videos for?
You know, it's for the use for everyone. Even we, Ladekoju Foundation is being created that there will be the kind of archive or where people can do research or learn about Osun, learn about the tradition, learn about the culture. It's ladekoju.com. So with that, you see the website, but it's for the use of everyone. Like you've seen it now, you see one thing or the other that you grab that can be useful for you. It's for everyone.
And I'm grateful for it as someone who teaches African religions in the diaspora, to be able to show my students, Oshun and Oshogbo, and then have them read about Oshun in Brazil and in Cuba and in the United States, and to see the power of Oshun as she still stays in Africa and as she still lives in the diaspora. So I'm grateful for that footage. Other questions?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. My name is Rosalind Elder, by the way. Just from an artistic point of view, I was struck by the timelessness of the sculptures, and my first question was, and I should say there is an exhibit at the Tate Modern in London on Nigerian modernism where they feature the Grove, and I didn't realize, wow, I saw it then and I'm looking at it now. How old, what is the age of it, and how does that carving tradition start where, the stylistic, such beautiful stylistic qualities? Thank you.
You know, the grove, that sacred grove is older than the town itself. But there used to be restoration of the sculptures there that my mother did a great part to restore the sculptures there so that the nature there stays intact. And, you know, we do the restoration with no stopping so that we keep the natural atmosphere there intact. It's been, you know, that place is older than the town itself, you know.
Hi, my name is Pallavi Mande, and I am originally from India, and a lot of what you shared, so thank you so much for taking us in that world of spiritual magic, and it connected me back to a culture that I'm very close to in terms of, you know, treating nature with divinity and having all our spiritual sort of rituals around nature equivalent to God. And I guess my question is, in terms of valuing what nature has to offer to humanity and striking that balance of reverence as the only way to preserve what nature still needs to provide to the rest of humanity, how are you ensuring that the younger generation has that sense of stewardship and is able to sort of have that drive, a way to preserve these sacred landscapes and a way to not have them consumed in wake of climate change, but also just sprawl for us to occupy space, I guess, as a species.
Yeah, you know, there is, as I said, there is continuity. I started since when I was a child, and also with my children, they started to learn about it from young, and, you know, it continues from one generation to the other. That is one thing. And Oshun also uses our metaphysical energy for the place. So there is from generation to generation, and I will tell you, day in, day out, there are more and more and more people coming to Oshun. Even despite of having another Orisha, that is increasing. And we also teach the young ones coming after us to see that it has to be maintained naturally and to keep her alive.
And I would also add, in a conversation that I had with the princess, she talked about, you know, some environmental concerns, that many miles up the river, they were doing mining, and it was starting to affect. And so she became not just a priestess and a protector, but an activist. And now they're putting dams there to stop from making sure that the Oshun River is not contaminated with the mining.
Yeah, though the mining place is far from Oshogbo, but you know the river flows. and Osun River surrounds Osogbo. So with that, and people still have the faith, but the government is aware and they are trying their best to see that they created dam for mining, that Osun water will not become contaminated.
Hi, I just had a really quick question, which was, in some of the stories that you told, it seems like, most of the time, at least from how I'm understanding it, even though Orishas can, they're everywhere in the world, and they choose places to appear and for their energy to be felt. I also wonder how you feel about the possibility of bringing Orishas to a place, or if they're always chosen by spirit, like, what does somebody have to cultivate to bring, for example, like the spirit of Oshun somewhere where maybe Oshun is not currently, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you. Osun is all over. Wherever you see river, water, Osun is present there. And Osun has traveled far. No, Osun is not only worshipped in Osogbo or Africa, even diaspora, like here, Cuba, Brazil. Osun has traveled that far. And her energy is still authentic, as she allows that. That is why you see during the festival that people come from all over. It's that connection. It is spiritually connected with people, and they could come, and Osun too can be everywhere.
We have time for one final question. Okay, we'll have two then. Yes.
Oh.
And then we'll have.
Should I go? Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much for the presentation. My name is Olivier Mabiala. I'm from Congo. So I had kind of a question with two parts. The first one is, you say Oshun is everywhere. Does Oshun follow the bloodline of the people, or does Oshun follow the people that call Oshun? What I'm asking about that is that, you say that Oshun is in Brazil and in other places. Is it because of the people that were displaced in Brazil that Oshun is there? Or is it because those people have called upon Oshun that Oshun is there? That's the first question. The second one is, what do you think of waste? Because that's the goddess of fertility, of abundance as well. And, we have an issue with waste and wasteful ways that we have in Africa in many places. And you as a priestess, what do you think of that? Being the priestess of the goddess of abundance and fertility, how does it correlate to the issue of waste that we have?
How does?
If she's everywhere, does she come through bloodline? Or what? Are people invoking her in these other places and having her come? That's one question. And the second question is, what do you think of in Africa, I think environmental waste and how that is affecting nature and ocean? So the first one is, how does she come? Through bloodline, or are people calling Oshun to these places all over the world?
If we ask everyone, Oshun has her way of connecting to people, either bloodline or spiritual line, or even through dream or out of interest. It could be one way or the other, that Oshun is connecting with people. Yes, with the environmental waste, it's issue, but where we have Oshun, the faith is there very strong. Even when we discover that mining stuff, people will say we cannot do without Oshun water. The source of Oshun water is not from Osogbo, it's from Ekiti. It's another state. There, it is small, not a small river. And, from the source, is still nothing affected it. But even with the mining, people had faith, but now they are stopping with it. And, there is strong belief at our shrine for our sacred water. We cope with it like that. If I should get the question correct.
And I'll just say one thing. When she did the opening libation to Oshun, Oshun is here. That wasn't just a kind of symbolic ritual. It was calling the metaphysical spirit of Oshun to come and be in our midst here. And it's through the invocation and bringing her here. And so Oshun is here because the priestess has come, has invoked her, and her spirit is here and among us. Our last question.
Hi, thank you so much. Oh, I'll stand up. Thank you so much for your presentation. I really appreciate it. My name is Kara Michelle, and I'm from Washington, D.C. originally. And as you were presenting the Oshun Sacred Grove, and especially the temple, I was thinking about how little exposure I had as a young girl growing up in the U.S., even growing up next to the National Museum of African Art, long before the National Museum of African American History and Culture was built, to Nigerian artwork and architecture told and curated through the lens of Nigerian people. It was always told and curated through a Western lens, and often in a way that was very exploitative and extractive. And so it's so wonderful hearing through your voice and seeing through your eyes these places. And now that I am an educator, I'm thinking about how do I share this with my architecture students. And so I'm curious if you have thoughts or wishes or desires about how architecture faculty, art history faculty, can share Nigerian artwork in a way that is respectful and doesn't necessarily kind of separate the original use, the original spiritual value from the objects and from the structures.
Yes, now we're in a small world. It is possible. Yes, as I said that if you search ladekoju.com, through that you can check the website and it is possible.
Please join me in thanking Princess Faniyi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that enriched conversation, Princess Faniyi and Dr. Hucks. Can we give them another round of applause, please?
Thank you.
Princess Faniyi, it has been an honor having you here at Harvard.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Montreal Jones. I'm a second-year Master of Architecture student here at the Graduate School of Design. As my name would suggest, I am not from the city of Montreal, nor am I Canadian, as a coincidence and kind of cool as that would be, but rather I am a native of the great bluegrass state of Kentucky, whose duality of lived and experienced environments, rural and urban, inspire me to consciously and innovatively create within the power and poetics of architecture and design.
I like that. I like that. And my name is Delilah Brown. You got that, Tyler? Excellent. I'm a master's in finance candidate at the Harvard Extension School. I come from the south side of Chicago, so the polar opposite of Montreal's rural life. But a place defined by motion, resilience, and community. The city has taught me to find beauty in movement, purpose, and collective strength. That beauty for the city and for its people continue to shape how I think about finance, not just in numbers, but as a tool to build, empower, and sustain.
And as we are closing out the conference, we do want to give another shout out to our leaders and contributors who have been able to help put this weekend together and make it possible. So if you would, please hold your applause to the concluding of all of our names. But we first want to recognize our co-chairs, and if you're here, if you could please raise your hand or stand up. We have Lily Saki, Ariana Everett, Rami Elegbade, and for our co-leads, we have Delilah Brown, we have Donald Tobo, and we have Michael Anthony.
And then special thanks for our student contributors. We have Darius A. Bolorf, sorry if I butchered that. We have Montreal Jones, Imani Day, Chadwick Boland, Khan Mohammed, Tyler White, Stephen Early, Portia Dames, and Lise Otula. And for our alumni contributors, we have Selwyn Bukas, Selena Abba, Whitney Stevens, and Olawatobaloba Fabula. And I need a big favor from all of you. I feel like we're family at this point, so I can ask for favors. Please join me in giving our fellow co-lead, Kiki Cooper, a standing ovation. Kiki, I speak for my fellow co-chairs, co-leads, contributors, and alumni when I say we applaud you for your leadership, organization, and dedication for making this year's conference possible. Thank you. The official Black in Design conference team would love to extend our thanks and gratitude to our sponsors for their generosity that has helped make this year's conference possible. This conference is made possible by the Grant Foundation. We'd also like to extend a thank you to our Harvard Business School alumni, class of '06, Twan Davis, for his gift from the Twan Davis Impact Foundation to support this year's Black in Design Conference.
And as we reflect on the conference, throughout this entire weekend, from panel discussions, workshops, and even the casual conversations that we may have had in the hall passing by, I personally have taken away so much, and as I'm sure you have too. And one of the reasons why I'm so appreciative of the Black in Design Conference over the years, now in its 10th year, is the ability for all of us to get together and do things exactly like this, to have a collective space where, you know, these type of conversations, these connections, and these types of community building are possible. And it's so important now more than ever that we have these opportunities to do just this. Importantly, the vitality and longevity of this conference exists not only in this weekend. I find it so impactful that the dialogue and the work that we introduce and we initiate here this weekend lives beyond just this moment. It will continue in the days, the months, and the years to follow. One of the things I will take away from this weekend is the rootedness of the conference, not in nostalgia, but in a methodology, a critical engagement with the spatial, spiritual, and environmental inheritances of the Black diaspora. In this thought, the conference has been a centering of design as both a tool and terrain for excavation, exploring lineage, land, and lore as intertwined forces shaping our communities. We've explored how ritual operates not only as a cultural practice, but a spatial strategy, structuring memory, community, and meaning within and beyond the built environment. Across disciplines, we interrogate the ecologies that sustain us and the geographies that displace us, asking what persists, what is possible, and what must be designed differently. Through Black theologies, Black ecologies, and Black geographies, we gather to examine the architecture we inherit and imagine, and the futures we assemble, not simply by reaching forward, but by grounding deeply in what endures. It is by theologies, conversations emerged, speaking to our spiritual roots, and looking into process of ritual renewal that shape the diaspora and how we recognize our identity in the world. It is by ecologies, topics like climate and politics we explored, which have historically been shaped through the lands and places we have stewarded. And it is by geographies united, discussions on migration, territories, and boundaries furthered insights into our defined position among spaces with the tension between the commodification of Black culture and the lived realities of Black people across time. As this trilogy of ideation evolves, we hope to see a resurgence of new ideas and conversations on diasporic design that present opportunities for reconfiguration and shaping roots into new growth towards the future. As for me, I have class on Monday. So it's a lot to take in, but with the themes and the knowledge bestowed this weekend, certainly it has me thinking in new ways as a designer and architecture student. And I know when I go back to my desk here on Monday, I'm focused and I'm redefining, what my education is for myself, and I'm rethinking my project as I'm thinking about, education spaces and designing vertically and how we deal with urban density. And so thank you all for the weekend and being able to have a conversation with you, even in passing, because even if that small conversation is, allowed me to take something forward.
Montreal, I couldn't agree more. I also have class on Monday as well. And I feel I've taken so much away from this conference. I've been thinking about my work in new ways, and while we may have class on Monday, and as we conclude with our closing remarks for this year's 2025 Black in Design Conference, the lessons, the community, and the reimagining of our roots is very much still alive and growing. Again, we want to take the time to thank everyone for being a part of the 2025 Black in Design Conference with this year's focus on Black roots, grounded and growing towards collective futures. A special thank you to our sponsors and supporters for their generosity. And may the conversations and connections we've shared continue to echo in our work, our community, and our dreams. Until we gather again for next year's Black in Design Conference, everyone. 2 years. Sorry. Sorry, I got excited. I want you guys back next year. Last but not least, we invite everyone to join us for the closing receptions in the porticos, DJ'd by Curry Hackett and Gabe Schumer. And Gabe Schumer, following our time here in Piper Auditorium. Thank you so much.